Obama team thinks that they're going to come riding into the rescue and help in New Jersey and Virginia. Apparently, this is how tight it is and how concerned they are. The one feels he's going to have to come off the couch and come help. So he's going to head to New Jersey and try to help Mickey Mouse there with her campaign. And then I guess he's going to run to Virginia and try to help Abigail Spanberger, who is in a neck-and-neck race with Winsome Sears, the lieutenant governor of Virginia, and Mika Brzezinski over there on the Nerd Prom King and Queens, MSNBC, the Morning Joe program. She's out there making big excuses for Spanberger. I thought she was the heir apparent to this seat. I thought she couldn't be beaten. And now they're already making excuses for her out there. Number 21. Give this one to me, if you would, please, Paul.
It really is incredible when you have Abigail Spanberger, Mikey Sherrill, her background, all the different jobs that she has held in the military, and also like Alyssa Slotkin. Yeah. I mean, my God, these women are incredible. And to them, I would say, fight, because we need them. Yeah. We need them leading.
And Mikey is like, she's doing a ton of interview. You know, when I talked to them, when I was in the car, you know, it was this car, she had gone from interview to talk to, but, you know, you still see the anxiety.
Yeah, Cheryl did have a few missteps in her campaign, but she still has, as you say, about a 5 or 6 point lead per polling. Spanberger's leading Virginia a little bigger than that, but, you know, both still competitive races here heading into the last couple of weeks. But to Mika, to Molly's point, I mean, this is something that a lot of Democrats are grappling with right now. So they've nominated women 2 of the last 3 elections for the presidency, lost both. There are some who say, well, we can't do that again. The stakes are too high. But of course, that does fall into the same misogynistic trap.
Other countries have no problem electing women.
So are they saying in a 2-woman race, Abigail Spanberger, if she loses, it's because she's a woman, even though Winsome Sears is also a woman? Is that right, Ed?
That's exactly how I heard it. It's as if that they're saying Winsome Sears is not a woman.
There are literally 2 women. That's all that can win. Only a woman can become the next governor of Virginia. That is what we know for a fact. And they just made this lengthy case on Morning Joe that misogynists won't elect a woman?
Apparently. Yeah.
Holy crow. Lunatics, a lot of them. Anyway, our telephone number, 855-STIGAL. Speaking of lunatics, if I don't address this one quickly, I looked up this morning on cable news, and I'm trying to find it because I had it earlier and now I lost it. And I wanted to bring it up because I don't think I'll ever talk about it again. I saw a guy taking off his shirt and it said candidate, Maine candidate, not a Nazi, or no Nazi tattoo or some such thing. They're taking off shirts on television, Fast Eddie, to prove that they're not Nazi tattoos. Have you seen this guy?
I have, yeah.
The Democrat Party has spent the better part of a decade, this from Amy Curtis at Town Hall, spent the better part of a decade finding Nazi dog whistles in the most innocuous places, including blue jeans ads featuring Sydney Sweeney. If you ask them, they'll gladly tell you that Republican presidents from Ronald Reagan to Donald Trump are just like Hitler. Robert De Niro thinks Trump advisor Stephen Miller, a Jew, is a Nazi. Back when President Trump nominated Pete Hegseth for Secretary of War, the left made a big point of claiming his Christian tattoos were actually symbols of white supremacy. And you guessed it, Nazism. But suddenly, Nazi imagery doesn't seem to matter quite so much to Democrats. Now that a guy called Graham Plattner has jumped in the race, he's a Democrat running to unseat Susan Collins in Maine, and he revealed that, yes, he in fact does have a rather large Nazi symbol tattooed on his chest. Ed, this is for real, and he's admitting it.
Yes.
In Maine.
Yes, he is. He has a real Nazi tattoo. It's covered up now, but he has a real one.
Plattner's excuse was that he was inebriated on shore leave, and Democrats have spent the past 48 hours dismissing this tattoo as just troublesome ink and a distraction from his campaign. And so he literally is going on shows like this, only Democrat shows, and he's taking off his shirt to show the viewers of the show that he, in fact, did cover up the Nazi tattoo, but fully admits, yes, I did. I got drunk, and I put a Nazi tattoo on my chest. But look, and he rips off his shirt, I've covered it up. So, bygones, are we good? Would that ever... Again, I know hypocrisy never sticks to the left, but let's just have it out for a second. If Pete Hegseth came forward and said, yes, in fact, I tattooed a Nazi thing on my chest, but I've covered it up since, so can we move past it? Do you think he'd be Secretary of War today?
No. They'd be doing documentaries 20 years from now on the political culture, and he'd be a prominent image in all of that if that were the case.
Plattner's excuse was that he was inebriated and on shore leave. It's one thing to think you're getting the Chinese character for peace tattooed on your bicep. It's quite another to get a literal Nazi skull inked on your chest, they write at Town Hall. As to the comment about excrement posting online, Democrats spent years pushing cancel culture on those young men. An authentic working-class party would not want to be represented by someone like Plattner and his Nazi tats. Then again, talking about the trans girl, skipping ahead here, but sorry, I'm not going to get into the weeds on this whole thing. But anyway, voters see that, and they know this is more than just a skeleton in his closet, is the way she summarizes. Sorry, I didn't mean to skip past it all. But that's the nuts and bolts of it from Amy Curtis at Town Hall. This kook is up there, and he's taking off his shirt. Graham Plattner, the Democrat candidate for Senate in Maine. Yes, it is a Nazi tattoo, but it's because I was drunk. And I've covered it up since. Look! We're doing bare-chested interviews, Ed, running for the United States Senate.
So what do you think is worse? Taking your shirt off to prove that you're not a Nazi, or being prevented from doing the moonwalk as to not cultural appropriate? So we have Ralph Northam go through the...
Well, you know what? I'm glad you reminded me of this, because we do have Hall of Fame political moments, and I think that this is right up there. Ralph Northam offering to do, you're right, said, just put a little shoe polish on my... Admitting that he liked to paint himself up. And then he was explaining away the fact that he wore blackface because he entered a Michael Jackson contest. And then while answering the question, were you wearing blackface? He said, yes, but just for a Michael Jackson contest, and I'm really good at the moonwalk. Would you like me to demonstrate it here? And he was serious. He was about to walk in front of his podium and do the moonwalk for the press, who was asking him, you've been in blackface in your college yearbook. His wife smartly grabbed him and said, not now, Ralph. I don't think that's a good idea now. There was Mark Sanford of South Carolina, who got all humpy with a girlfriend and took off and was having an affair, and they couldn't find him for days when he was governor of South Carolina. And then the press started asking, where the hell's the governor? And they said, he's hiking in the mountains, the Appalachians. And there was no record of him going anywhere. And then it turned out his chief of staff was just running cover for him because he was in flagrante delicto with some babe, some Argentinian babe, who was a media member. He then holds a press conference and professes his undying love to her. Of course, there's the foot tapping moment, too. I am not gay. I never have been gay. Larry Craig, I believe was his name, the guy that was tapping the foot in the bathroom. But you're right. In the annals of political nonsense history, this one might be right up there, Ed. I'm glad you reminded me. Now entered into the Political Fall from Grace Hall of Fame, Graham Plattner, doing his interviews bare-chested to prove that his once Nazi skull tattoo has been covered over. So, congratulations, Graham Plattner, entering the Political Fall from Grace Hall of Fame. No, seriously, the Nazi tattoo's gone. Look.
Oh. We should invite him on the show. Hey, will you take your shirt off? Can we see the Nazi tattoo?
Just unbelievable. I can't even believe it. I can't believe it. So Obama, anyway, my point is they're sending Obama in now into New Jersey and into Virginia. They're going they think he's going to help these two babes. Mikey, Mickey, whatever the hell her name is, Abigail. So the black guy has to come in to rescue the white ladies. You follow? How do you like that, girls? Now, I thought Mika just said girl power and all of this. Why do they need the black guy to come in and tell the white ladies how to run their campaign? You explain that to me, Ed?
Well, that's when America overcame racism and elected Obama twice, so now they have to overcome misogyny. That's the next hurdle.
The Chris Stigall Show podcast.